I am Charlotte from Greenfield Public Library, and these are my 5 bookish questions for Phil at Greenfield Public Library. Question number 1, have your reading habits changed since Safer at Home?
My reading habits haven't changed too much. I pretty much do the same amount that I have been during a regular library work week. I run the history book club at Greenfield, so I've read the March book, I'm working on the April book, I will be reading the May and June book, we don't know when we're going back. So it's been a very interesting experience with that. I've been reading a couple different books on a couple different topics. I mostly read nonfiction. So I've been reading about the same, just keeping busy, and when I'm not doing library work, right now it's getting a little bit nicer, but I have been reading while it's been a little bit colder.
Question number 2, what's the best book you've read since Safer at Home?
I haven't really read anything that I would consider the best or great. One of the more interesting experiences, I guess, I'll talk about is with our March History Book Club book, which was The Blood of Heroes, which is about the 13-day struggle of the Alamo by James Donovan. With this book, we tried something like a virtual history book club on Facebook, where I would read a chapter a day, audibly, straight through. It usually averaged about 30 to 45 minutes, uncut, mistake-addled, and I would upload that on SoundCloud, and then I'd upload it on the Facebook page and pose questions. And it was really kind of odd, for the sake of I hadn't read a book that audibly probably since I was a child, and obviously those are picture books, and these are a lot longer, and there's a lot more involved. But it was a very interesting experience. Got to hear my own voice, which is also odd, and I hope people enjoyed it. The author was supportive of it, and we emailed him before we did it, and he said go for it if anything he needed help. So we're very appreciative to James Donovan for letting us read a book like that. But I guess that in lieu of not having really read anything great, that's probably the best experience that we've had over this coronavirus period.
Question number 3, what's a title in our library system that you wish you could access right now, but you can't?
The title that I wish I could access, and I use that term very loosely, is I want to read Fight Club 3 by Chuck Palahniuk. I wish he would have just stopped with his initial one. The original Fight Club book is absolutely amazing. I totally recommend it. And then now afterwards, probably about 15 years now later or so, he released Fight Club 2, which was a couple years ago. And Fight Club 2 and 3 are both graphic novels. And while I feel like he probably shouldn't have continued it, it's like I cannot not read it. The artwork is really amazing, kind of like that weird distorted sense that you would think from something from Fight Club would be. If you haven't read Fight Club, I'd totally recommend it. And it's a little bit weird, but I think you might be able to get something out of it, and definitely see the movie too. The movie is very good. But I think the Fight Club 3 just came out last week, but I gotta check it out. I cannot not do it, as I mentioned.
Question number 4, what's a new library skill you've learned since Safer at Home? Like, I've learned how to make videos.
New librarian skills that I've accomplished, I would say definitely everything that I've been doing with video and teleconferencing. I had a flip phone up to 2-3 years ago. I just never cared. I've never been one to make movies and upload them to YouTube or whatever. So, and while I'm more than able to go up to somebody and diagnose a problem at the computers at the library, I've just never really uploaded movies or anything like that. But I've been starting to do a tutorial for the Facebook page for card games. First one's released today, which is Monday. But I have a couple other ideas that I want to do with video. It's just uncharted waters really for me. and I think in the long run it's probably going to be beneficial. So, yeah, definitely with that.
Question number 5, what is a title that you recommend that's available right now on Libby or Hoopla?
All right, now for this last question, it took me about 45 minutes to do. I did a little bit of research. I mostly looked at Libby. The problem is a lot of like the really good stuff with Libby, there's only certain numbers of copies, so a lot of it's picked over. So I tried to find stuff that was available. And also I did one each of ebook and one for audiobook. For the ebook recommendation that's available right now, there's 2 available as of this talking. It's called Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking by Susan Cain. I would say a large majority of librarians are introverted. That usually means they're very self-reflective, quiet, good listeners, weird. I think that probably goes for most of us in this field. The book kind of like releases that stigma of us, of people that are pretty quiet, being weird, and try to stay away from everything. In a very extroverted world, if you just watch TV or anything, it's a lot of people talking without thinking. You can see that with Twitter, especially. It's kind of just saying we're not weird. There've been a lot of famous introverts in history that, like Rosa Parks, for instance, where like doing these small things have influenced other people. We just do it in a different way. We just don't shout it from the rooftop. It's like, and also the idea that it's okay to be quiet. It's okay to, if you do something where you're out with a lot of people, to be able to recharge and things like that. So if you are an introvert, you can learn from the book that you aren't crazy. And if you're an extrovert, you can learn why we are the way we are. So that would be a good book for an ebook that I'd recommend. For the audiobook that I saw that was available that I would definitely recommend is called Dr. Muter's Marvels, A True Tale of Intrigue and Innovation at the Dawn of Medicine by Kristen O'Keefe Aptowitz. Dr. Muter was, I believe, around a plastic surgeon and an early surgeon in the mid-19th century, so around 1850s, 1860s, 1870s, which is the dawn of medicine finally becoming modern and more safe. And he's just a really kind of interesting guy. Like, he'd wear pink silk suits while he operated. He's kind of called the P.T. Barnum of early medicine. But he also came up with a lot of different things and was supporters of things like using ether as anesthetic, which is new, sterilizing medical equipment, having compassion for people with medical oddities or deformities, which is very rare for the time, because most people were just made fun of, or they died right away, or they didn't care if they died. So he's a really kind of interesting character. He's from Philadelphia. The Muter Museum, he had a museum set up now where you can see all of his collection of medical oddities. I'm just really intrigued by all that stuff, with all like the weird, gory medicine of the time. And I would highly recommend it if you're looking for something different. We had to learn it somehow. We had to learn it sometime, and it wasn't pretty. But modern medicine came from people like him and Joseph Lister and things like that. So I would highly recommend it and learn a little bit about gory period. And if you didn't learn it then we still might be using leeches and bloodletting now. In fact, leeches are coming back in alternative medicine. So I would recommend those 2 books.
Great. Thank you for doing 5 bookish questions with me.